Hey everyone, here's a lesson on how to use a basic two-handed chord voicing to read through pop tune lead sheets. So we're going to stick with the key of C, and I have a couple tunes to demonstrate that are both in the key of C that you can use. So the songs are Hallelujah and Let It Be. So we're going to go to the key of C, and first we're going to look at our C scale. So the C scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So there's 7 notes in the scale, and each of those notes can produce a triad. So a C triad, a D, E triad, F, G, A, and B. And each of those triads are either major or minor, with the exception of the B, and that's called half diminished. So C is major, also the 1 chord. D is minor, the 2 chord. E is minor, the 3 chord. F is major, the 4 chord. G is major, the 5 chord. A is minor, the 6 chord. And when we get to B, it's called half diminished. We're not really going to ever use the B. In fact, mostly for most pop tunes, you use the 1 chord, which is C, the 4 chord, which is F, the 5 chord, which is G, and the 6 chord, which is A minor. And there's one example in the song Hallelujah where on top of those 4 chords, we use an E major to go to the A. So the E in the key of C looks like this. That's E minor. To make it major, we add a G sharp. And that chord right there leads us to A minor. So before we get to that, let's look at the two-handed chord voicing. So if we take this chord, this triad, and we play it also in the left hand, both hands. Now we're going to make a voicing that sounds nice, that you can play pretty much anywhere in this middle to lower register on the piano. In the left hand, we're going to take out the middle note and just play the root and the 5th, which is C and G. In the right hand, we're going to take out the top note and just play the root and the 3rd, which is C and E. So there's our chord voicing. And now we can go through each chord like that, to D, to E, F, G, A, B, and C. With this chord voicing, we come back to C. You can also go down lower to B, to A, and they sound nice. G, F, sounds really nice. And the E, I wouldn't go that low unless it's the E major, sounds nice. And that's as low as we need to go, back to C. So, when reading through the lead sheet in the song Hallelujah, the chords go from C to A minor, back to C, back to A minor. And I'm just going to pull this lead sheet in front of you so you can see it and to get an idea. You also will have a copy of this so you can look at your own. But this is a lead sheet for Hallelujah, and each bar has a chord symbol above it. So you can see the C and the A minor, and the C and the A minor. Then the melody comes in. The notes written out are the melody, but the chords are still written above here. And all we're concerned with is playing the chords. If you do the chords, you can sing along to the melody, you can play along with the recording, or you could be in a group of musicians where you play the chords and someone else plays or sings the melody and someone plays a bass line. So this is just a basic chord progression. So when the melody comes in, we still have the C and the A minor, and the C and the A minor. And then we go to F and G and C and G, and it goes on C, F, G, A minor, F, G, And then we get to this E7. On the E7, we're just gonna play E major. So you're just gonna sharp your third finger. Instead of G natural, you'll play G sharp. Now we're back to A minor. And then we're back to F, and A minor, and F, and C, and G, and C, and G. So that's the lead sheet to give you the chords. You'd have to listen to the song to get the feel. The feel is kind of like a 3, but in 2. So it feels like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you kind of feel that triplet within each beat. But to begin playing it, you just want to feel that rhythm, but only play the chord at the beginning of each measure. So like this. Be ready, and 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2 to A minor, back to C, and A minor. That's all we're doing, back and forth. C and A minor, to F, to G, and C, and G, and back to C. Now we have F, G, and A, and F, G, E, and A. Stays on A, back to F, A, 1, 2, and F, 2, F, 2, to C, to G, and C. So for this song, C is the highest chord. All the other ones I go lower, and I think it sounds nice. You could go higher. It's your choice. You know, you have an F chord could be up here as well. G could be here, and C could be there. There's really no rule. You just can decide what you like the sound of. So another way to play this with using the chords could be to play 2 beats or 2 chords per measure, like this. Ready? And 1, 2, C, A, C, A, and C. Now we go to F, 1, G, and back to C, G, and C. Another way yet to play it is it's in 3, so you could break these 4 notes, a broken chord, and have 2 groups of 3 like this. A, C, A, C, A, C, A, F, G, and C, G. That's another way to do it. So those are the 2-handed chord voicing and how to apply it to Hallelujah. The same exact chords are in Let It Be. They're just a different order and a different feel. So Let It Be is in 4, and it does 2 chords per measure, like this. Here's Let It Be. We have 4 beats per measure, and we have 2 beats of C, and 2 beats of G, and 2 of A, and 2 of F. Back to C, G, and then here I've included, kind of like what's iconic to the song, is this F, E, D, C pattern, which I'll play. You don't have to do that. You could just go down and play an F chord and a C chord. But I think it sounds nice to go up to an F chord and work your way down to a C chord. So let's take a look at the same exact chords. We still have C, we have a G, we have an A, and an F. All the same chords from Hallelujah, just in a different feel and different order. So here we go. C, G, A, F, C, G. I like to go up to F and down E, D, C, and back to C, and G, and A, right there. It does end with an F, E, D, C. It goes to B flat, G, F, and C. Well, I didn't include those chords in the song, but that can be added on later. So take a look at this video, learn those chords. We'll talk more about it in class next time. All right, see ya.